Hi 505, this is Summer 22. Most of you have already had me and y'all are in my EDTL cohort. Welcome back. If you are taking this class as an elective and have never had me, welcome. I like to use templates for major assignments. So each time you have a major assignment, I will do a little video like this and introduce you to what we are doing and show you the template. As my EDTL cohort people can tell you, sometimes I miss the mark, okay? The template makes sense to me in my head, but when you guys look at it, y'all are like, Dr. V, you lost it again. That is perfectly fine. Call me out on those times. You should all have my cell number by now. If you have questions, problems, or if something just does not make sense, please don't spend hours and hours worrying about it. Text me for clarification. Sometimes a 5-minute phone call with me will save you a couple of hours of worry. So I'm always down for a phone call or a text. So let's talk about the major assessment in EDTL 505. So the end of this assessment, when you get completely done with it, you are going to submit a grant for funding to some type of funding source. We are not talking about Donors Choose. We are not talking about GoFundMe. We're not talking about, easier stuff like that. We're talking about district grants, grants from companies, national grants, state grants, and we are going to walk through this step, one step at a time. As in all of my classes, I am really not worried about y'all's quote-unquote grade. I am worried about y'all getting a grant that is able to be turned in and fully funded at the end of this class. So as long as you're doing the work, you're meeting the deadlines, and you're taking my feedback and rolling with it, you are going to get an A in this class. Okay, so how do we start with this? What we're going to do first, in all of my assignments, if you're new to me, we have a learn part and then other parts. So for this, and over here on the right is your template, which is linked here. On the left is our major document that all of the EDTL assessments are on. So the first thing you're going to do is a learn part. So here are 2 resources for you to click on and learn, and you use these boxes to take notes and tell me what you learned about. The next part is also a learn section. So my EDTL people know these, but new people, the ISTE standards for students, y'all all know what a standard is. We have to meet them every day. Well, ISTE is the International Society for Technology and Education, and they have technology standards for students. So I want you to look here and look at them, and under each section, just tell me your thoughts. Are your students meeting these? Have you never heard of this? Is this something brand new? Are you really doing this well in your classroom? Or wherever you are in your job, in your position, tell me your thoughts for that. So that is your part 1, learn. We're going to be writing this grant with the lens of using something called backwards design. You're going to learn about it here, but it's actually what we do every day in our jobs anyway. We look at the problem first. Okay, so you say, dude, we have this problem in my school, in my university, in my classroom, whatever. And then you work backwards to try to figure out a way to fix that problem or make that problem better. Okay, so the next thing you are going to look at is putting it together in this kind of chart. So again, this chart makes sense to me. If this is a hot mess for you and you want to do it somewhere, in another format, I am of course perfectly fine with this. You just have to get me the information. So we took notes up here on what the standards were. So down here, I want you to tell me just very, very briefly, what's the point of the Empowered Learner Standard? What is ISTE saying that our students should be able to do? And then tell me any insights or opinions that you have there, and then your overall thoughts of that topic. And here's where we start using our backwards design. So tell me your biggest concern in each area. What is your biggest concern concerning empowered learners, concerning digital citizenship, concerning innovative design? What is your specific for your workplace? What is your biggest concern on those? Then rank them 1 to 7. Number 1 is going to be, okay, we don't do a darn thing about digital citizenship in our school, and that is just a huge blaring problem. And, oh, we do a lot of innovative design in my classroom, so that's number 7. We're already doing a lot of that. So we are going to rank those 1 to 7. And then here is where we really start shifting from learning and analyzing what's going on at our job place to starting to get a goal for a project. Okay, so I want you to write a goal for 2 of these, probably your top 2, and then we're going to narrow it down to what we are going to write this grant for. Basically, the narrowing down of this is how we're using that backwards design model. So it's a process. You may just want to say, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to jump down to here. Please still work through this process for me so that you can show that you're using the backward design model. So here is an example. I like examples. I don't like definitions. So here is my example that I wrote. A large goal would be students at St. Michael's will gain understanding, I think, that communicating online with others should mirror etiquette when communicating face-to-face with others. I got this from my 2 older kids, y'all. They will text their friends the meanest things, and they don't understand that what you put in a text message should have just as much respect as if you're talking to your friends face to face. So that's why that's where this came from. And then I'm going to say that juniors at St. Michael will collaborate with juniors at Dunham. Juniors at St. Michael will communicate with juniors at Dunham following a set of online communication etiquette, and they will utilize proper grammar and sentence structure. So if you're not a classroom teacher, this might be new for you, and you and I might need to go back and forth a couple of times before we get this right. Even if you are the most seasoned classroom teacher, you and I might have to go back and forth for goals and objectives before we get it right. This part, y'all, the goals and objectives have to be right before you can do anything else on this assessment. I know some of y'all like to go ahead and go fast, but until you and I work through your goals and objectives and I say, yes, done, perfect, please, please do not go on to anything else. Because if these aren't right and you've already done work down here, you're just going to have to redo it when we get your goals and objectives right. So what is the difference between a goal and an objective? A goal would be a much broader area, and then objectives would be things that are very measurable and you can see what you're actually going to be doing in this new initiative. Something else that's very, very, very important when starting out with goals and objectives for grant writing is your objectives and your goals are never about stuff. Let me repeat that. Your goals and objectives are never about stuff. Your goal is not to place cameras outside of all dorm rooms at Nicholls State University. That is not your goal. That may be what you end up doing, but your goal would be to decrease instances of crime on campus by 2%. Okay? Your goal is not to get a set of robotics tools for your 5th grade classroom. No, that's not your goal. That's stuff. Your goals and objectives would center around increasing STEM skills within my 5th grade class. Does that make sense? So even though stuff is going to be in here, stuff does not belong in your goals and objectives. So this is a very long process, y'all. This is the only major assignment we're going to do in the entire 8 weeks of 505. We're going to break it down into parts and do it piece by piece. I want you guys, if they make sense to you, using your templates and sharing with me every time you finish a step. That is the most important part of this assessment. It is very long. It is very important to go structurally through this and not jump around. And it's very important, again, that your goals and objectives, we meet about them and we both think they're where they should be before you go any further. After you do that, you're going to go on and you're going to tell me what data point tells you that these goals and objectives are necessary. If you took 503 with me, you can pull your data points from there. If you did not take 503 with me yet, we need to know why you are doing these goals. So if you're doing the decreased crime rate, you can say that we had 17 instances of crimes outside of dorm rooms last year at Nicholls State that could have been solved if more cameras were in place. I just got my car dinged outside of the outside of campus and no camera was on it. Can you tell? That's where my mind is. Sorry. And then you're going to communicate with your stakeholders and we're going to go down here to the rest of your grant. I am not going to go any further than this because I think that was a lot of information to take in and it gives you a very firm start on where you can start with assessment 4. I hope that helps. As always, send me an owl from Hogwarts, shoot me a text, give me a call, shoot me an email if I can help at all. Have a fabulous day.